Hello, friend. How are you today? Welcome to my live. And if you happen to be watching later, welcome to the replay. My name is Robin, and I'm with Robin's Egg Blue Creations, and I'm also an independent designer with Chalk Couture. And today we will be using a silkscreen reusable transfer and permanent ink to upcycle a generic reusable shopping bag. I'm sure you all have some of these laying around. And if you remember, I did one a few weeks ago. Let me just pull this back. So I did this one, Why Do They Want Dinner Every Night? So this was kind of one of those promotional, generic, reusable shopping bags. It had somebody else's logo on it. And I just took one of our banner pieces and I inked on it. And then I literally took some fabric glue and I slapped it on the front and then added this cute little flower tulle bow. So that's what we're going to be doing this evening or this morning. Sorry, I got confused. But once you hop on, say hi in the comments. Tell me where you're watching from. I am in hot and humid central Kansas. It's currently almost 90, on its way to almost 100. So it's been brutally hot the last couple of weeks, but we are enduring and managing and wishing for winter already. I also want to let you know I'm using an online platform called StreamYard. So I'm live in 3 locations this morning. I'm live on my Facebook business page. I'm live on my YouTube channel, and I'm also live in my private Facebook group. And I tell you that in case you hear me refer to a comment that you don't see in your feed, that viewer may be watching and commenting from a different platform. Also, if you're watching from my private group, you don't have to, but if you can, go ahead and give StreamYard permission to access your profile name. Otherwise, you show up as Facebook user in my comments, and I don't know who to say hi to. So let's go to the comments and say hi. I see that Jason is watching from the other side of the door. Thank you so much. Once you hop on, spread that chalk love all around social media world. Tag your crafty friends. Hit those buttons that you're supposed to be hitting. The like, the love. And all that fun stuff. So with that, I'm going to flip the camera around. So I showed you this. This is the bag that I did a couple of weeks ago. Once I did this one, I happened to acquire a few more bags. So I have this fun, bright yellow, another one of those promo shopping bags. I'm going to take that out. And these are typically not a fabric that you want to iron or, so one of my solutions was with that other bag was to use a piece of canvas. So I just used one of our banners and took it apart and I inked on the canvas. Same way with this bag. This would be hard to cover up with ink. This isn't a very iron-friendly fabric. So I have once again taken apart one of our hanging banners. And so all I did was I measured, this one happens to have 2 seams. So I just measured in between the 2 seams. So that's 6.5. And I'm using this size B transfer. And since it's 8.5 by 11, I just made my piece of fabric 6.5 by 11, and literally I just snipped it and tore it like I do with all of my fabric pieces. And this bag happens to be 2-sided, so I went ahead and I made one last night for this side. And so then I will ink this side, this one for the other side, and then I'll show you how a cool new product that I found to adhere it to the bag without heat. So with that, let's put these to the side and we'll put our bag to the side. So I just have one of my little sticky mats here. And I'm going to put my piece of fabric on the sticky mat. I have linked most of the supplies in the description of the video. Chalk Couture does sell ink mats, which I have them, but these are just a little more readily available. If you want to go on the cheap, my suggestion is to buy the Paper Studio brand cutting mats from the Hobbly Lobbly, and I get the 12 by 24 pack, and you get 2 mats in that, and I cut them down to 12 by 12. So when the Paper Studio line is half off, you can literally get 4 12 by 12 cutting mats for less than $10. So that's my inexpensive crafting tip of the day. What the ink mat does is, one, it protects my surface from any ink bleeding through the back. It also stabilizes my fabric so that it doesn't move around, and it's a great wrinkle reducer without having to iron. So a couple of different reasons why we use an ink mat. This is a silkscreen reusable transfer. It is sticky back, so it will stick directly to your surface. Because it's reusable, I'm going to make sure I label the back. Eat, sleep, beach, repeat. We'll just paraphrase it. So when I'm done with this transfer, because I've written on the back side, I know that when it's clean and dry, I can put it right back on this side of the backer sheet, and this side is the back side. These mats last quite a while. I've had my original ink mats from Chalk Couture for 4 years. Excuse me, I got a tickle. I am getting some ink buildup on those mats, and so I just need to clean them. And I've heard that like right here where I've painted on this one, it's not very sticky because the paint kind of covers up the sticky. So you can either take like a Clorox wipe or and wipe it down, or I've even heard spray it down with some Windex, and then that will clean all of the residue off, and it brings back the sticky. So your mat should last years. So I'm just going to peel the backer sheet off of this transfer. And with most surfaces, you want to fuzz your transfer just because it will become too sticky. But and then it will stretch when you pull it off. But with fabric, you want to make sure that you get as good of a stick as possible, so I'm not going to fuzz. And I can kind of see the edge of my transfer, or the edge of my fabric through the transfer, and the rest is just eyeballing. I'm not a big measurer. I am going to burnish wherever that silk screen is, just to make sure I have a good seal and my ink doesn't bleed through and underneath that silk screen material. Okay. So I think I have a good adhesion. So we're going to be using Couture Coral, Bumblebee, and these are permanent inks. They are permanent, heat set permanent. This one is Kiwi, but it is not available anymore. Excuse me, but you could probably mix Bumblebee and Meadow, a little tiny bit of Meadow, which I did link Meadow in the description of the video in the cart link, to get kind of this kiwi color. This one is actually Forget Me Not, but I did, which is also a retired color. But I did link Ocean Mist, which would also work. And then this is Couture Teal. It is actually out of stock right now, but you could mix Tide with white to get this color, probably. I bet you could even mix Ocean Mist with a tiny bit of Meadow and maybe get close to that color as well. So I'm just going to kind of do it in rainbow order, except I flipped, in my opinion, I flipped these two because I want the ocean waves right here to be blue. So we'll do guava, bumblebee, kiwi, forget-me-not, and teal. Or in your case, in the Cartlink case, it would be couture coral, bumblebee, meadow, your whatever green you come up with, ocean mist, and whatever teal-ish color that you mix. So these are just like the paste, although you do have a little bit more dry time, so you don't have to work as fast. I also don't have to peel up as I go. I can just leave it all down, leave the transfer on my surface until I'm all finished. So I'm just going to dip my squeegee into the ink. And I try to only go up and down if at all possible. In light pressure. I don't want to push too hard or I might squish my ink underneath the transfer. And then to do the bottom sides, I like to go away from wherever I'm trying to avoid. So I like to flip it over and go back the other way. It helps me to not overpaste and go into the next section. So I'm just removing the excess and trying to even out my squeegee lines, and I can just put one in whatever extra ink is left back in the tub. So I'm just grabbing a larger squeegee for sleep because it is a larger area. So again, I'm dipping into the bumblebee and I'm kind of starting my squeegee off of the silk screen. I'm starting kind of above so I can make sure to get that top edge. If I'm going to miss a spot, that's usually where I miss, is the top edge. I think sometimes I almost prefer inking over chalking, mainly because you can kind of go at your own pace. You don't have to rush it. And it's just always fun to see all the different wearables you can make with ink. You know, you can t-shirts, tote bags, tank tops, hoodies, hats. I have a pair of canvas shoes that I want to try to ink. And then you can always do like the kitchen towels. You can make custom gifts that way. Little makeup bags. So I have a little bit of excess on my squeegee. I'm just going to wipe it back in. Next we'll go on to our green, which in my case it's kiwi. But again, feel free to mix colors. I think I linked meadow. So you could mix meadow in with a tiny bit of meadow in with your bumblebee to get a lighter green color. Again, because I don't want to go into the next section, I'm going to turn my project around and go the other direction. So does anybody have any big weekend plans besides celebrating all those fathers in your life? Happy Father's Day to everyone, by the way. So we'll move on to Forget-Me-Not or Ocean Mist. And I did pick a smaller squeegee. This one is just one of the other squeegees cut in half. It just fits in a smaller area. Feel free to cut the squeegees. You can just cut them with a pair of scissors. It just kind of helps to get into the smaller sections, smaller areas. And then all we have left to do is the word repeat. Hey, Amanda. Sorry I missed you hopping on. She says we did all the yard and housework yesterday so we could have a weekend of relaxing. Laying in the hammock watching you now. Watching me. Well, that sounds like fun. I think if I got in a hammock, I'd probably never be able to get out. But that does sound very relaxing. There's a fun little canopy banana lounging, sitting hammock type thing at Menards that I would love to have, although the Kansas wind would blow it away. Hey, Ashley. If you're just now hopping on, we are upcycling another reusable shopping bag. So I'm using the Eat, Sleep, Beach, Repeat transfer. So I'm just finishing the last word of this transfer. I did do another panel just like this last night because my bag is, it's one of those promotional bags, but it's two-sided. So I worked ahead and got one of the panels finished. So I just have a tiny bit of excess. I'm just going to put that back in. And now we will carefully pull it up. I'm going to make sure I don't have any ink on my fingers. I'm just going to kind of pull it up slowly. That way if I see any areas that I need to touch up, I can do that without, or I can put this back down easily and touch those areas up. Okay. Yeah, but it's pretty good. I'm just going to let that hang out to the side. I think I got teal on my elbow. Okie doke, so that's what we have. Eat, sleep, beach, repeat. So I'm going to clean up this part of my mess. And I cannot tell you how easy it is to clean up after using Chalk Couture products. Thanks, Ashley. Simple, easy peasy. I just take everything over. I have a water tub over here, but I can also just take everything to my utility sink and just rinse everything out, let it dry. I don't even need any cleaning supplies. Just some water and a board eraser. So that's what we have. Eat, sleep, beach, repeat. I do have a few areas that I probably could have touched up, but I'm not terribly worried about it. So what I like to do with this after I do all of my inking projects, I prefer to let everything sit overnight, 24 hours-ish. That's just my comfort zone. You do you. If you want to heat it with a heat tool and then heat set it, you by all means do that. I just prefer to let my stuff air dry overnight. So I did that yesterday. I'm going to find a safe place to put this over there. So I did, this bag happens to be two-sided. So I cheated and made another panel last night. So I left this out overnight, let it air dry, and then I used my Cricut Easy Press on 305 for 30 seconds, and I heat set it. And you can tell when it's heat set because before you heat set it, even though the ink is dry, it's still really tacky. But once you heat set it, it loses that tackiness. So on the last bag, if you watched that, you remember I used fabric glue. I used this Fabri-Tac, and it's just kind of hard to use. If you're using a large, I knew this was a large surface. I knew I needed to do 2. I was looking at maybe doing some like iron-on fusible webbing, but also I know that this material isn't very heat safe. So I happened to find this while I was browsing online at my local hobby store, and it's from ThermoWeb, and it's peel and stick fabric fuse. So if you've ever used like those adhesive sheets with paper, this is meant for fabric, and it comes in either 4 1/4 by 5-inch sheets, and it also comes in like a hem tape version. This is 5/8 of an inch by 20 feet. So actually I'm going to use both products to stick my piece of fabric down. So since this one's already heat set, we can stick it down. So it says cut adhesive sheet to size of item and then peel off the paper liner. Place item face up onto adhesive. I'm going to do it a different way. And then press firmly. So let's open it up and see what we have. So this package comes with, if I can get them out, it's like they're stuck to the box. I may have, they're so sticky, I think they stuck to the package. They did. Well, they work. Okay, so it's these little, so you peel it off. So it does come with a backing paper, the adhesive, and then another piece of backing paper. So I do want to leave, and I know this won't cover everything, so I'm just going to fill in with the fabric fuse, but I also want to leave kind of a free edge because I want a lot of this fabric to fray. So I'm kind of leaving not quite a 1/4 of an inch around the fabric. So I'm going to press that down. So I've left a little bit of an edge. So I didn't go all the way to the very edge because I want a lot of this to fray. So I think I'll grab a second sheet. I'm going to turn this over, do the same thing, and then we'll fill in with this hem tape. And you can cut these. I might be able to do that. Let's just cut one of these. No. Yeah, I probably will have them next week at that vendor event. Hello to whoever hopped on. I'm sorry I can't see your name. But yes, I will. I hope to have these for sale next week. And I have a couple other bags I need to try to get done. Of course, my list of to-dos is way longer than the amount of time that I have. I think I will cut this other sheet just for funsies. Let's see how they cut. Let's peel that off, and I only want, I'm just going to make a little mark right about there. So let's cut, and then we'll use that one to measure the next one. But the hem tape works just the same way, and we'll use that maybe to fill in the middle. Okay, so I'm taking off the backing paper. And I left both pieces of backing paper on when I cut it. That way I'd get less adhesive on my scissors. So I'm just going to butt this one up against the other one. Same way with this side. I thought this stuff was pretty cool. I'm excited to see if it works. It does say on the package, if you're going to wear it, use it for like wearables like a t-shirt, to tumble dry on low for 15 minutes, then rub the front and back of item with firm pressure. But since this is just a bag, I don't think we need to worry about that. Okay, so let's take this hem tape, which is the exact same product. It's the Peel and Stick Fabric Fuse Permanent Adhesive. And I think it comes in a couple of different widths. I got the 5/8, and it works. It's going to work the exact same way. This would be great if you had a pair of pants that you needed to hem, or if like the hem of your shirt needed fixed or came undone. It's Kendria. Kendria, I noticed Regina said your name differently the other day. Is it Kendria? Kendria, where's the accent? She says, I always sign in on the wrong one. It's okay. And then I think I'm going to trim the length of this one, the width, so it will fit in that little, and I might be able to squeeze it in there. Yeah, it squeezes. Okay, so I'm just gonna press everything firmly. If you had a brayer, or even if I have a gift card here that might work, or a Cricut scraper, or any vinyl scraper, even your paste scraper. Oh, that one works really well. Just to adhere it down really well. Plus, it's kind of like when you're using like paper craft adhesive, the more you burnish the carrier sheet or the protective tape, the easier it is usually to release. Kendria. I said it. Kendria. Kendria? Kendria. I don't remember what I said first. I have a very terrible memory. Okay, so I'm just peeling off the protective layer of tape. And if you can't get it off that way, you can always take a pokey tool. I'm sorry, you probably have to deal with that every day. I stuck it down too well. There we go. So it's just like using a scrapbook adhesive, paper scrapbook adhesive. You just peel off all the protective layers. Definitely, once you get past the learning curve, it's definitely easier to use than squeezing out fabric glue. Kendria. Okay. Gotcha. Kendria. And is the accent on the second syllable? Because when I was saying it before, it was Kendria instead of Kendria. Okay. Gotcha, I think. Okay, so I just want to, I don't really care where I get it. I just need to make sure I match up. In fact, just so it's not so sticky. Well, thank you for your assistance with that. So I just really want to make sure I'm centering it between those two seams, and I want the same amount of space down here, which that looks really good. So I'm just going to stick that portion down. And it doesn't have to be I'm going to stick my protective paper back down just so I don't scuff up my panel. I'm going to give it another good burnish. And there we go. And the more you kind of rough up that edge, because it's going to start peeling at all the earth. You'll answer to either sound. It's like my dad always says, I don't care what you call me as long as you call me to dinner. So you can take like a little pokey tool or a straight pen and start peeling off some of the strings. Thanks, Ashley. It's a great way to just spice up some of those generic promo bags that we usually get at like conferences or other things. And then I have scads of these little bows from when I sold 31 and initials ink. So I'm just going to pop, actually no, well, you could just pop these on, but I forgot. I, in Robin fashion, let's throw all this away, have some fabric, that I pulled, and I'm going to make a tassel, maybe. Let's get all this put away. So I pulled out some fabric scraps. And then I think I might make a tassel, but I could always just cheat and leave that bow on. Thanks, Jason. Okay. So I remember I have this used to be this was a full-size fitted sheet. I will have this fabric probably forever. So we'll use some of that. I think I might cut this into 3 pieces. So I'm just making little snips, literally snipping it apart and then just ripping it. The more it frays, the better. I'm going to do the same thing here. Just snip, snip, pull. And then I found some of this material that pulled in some of the yellow and the green. And it's just a fabric quarter. So it's a little shorter than the bandana, but it'll still work. Again, just going to snip some pieces. You could even I have an extra piece. We may use this to tie. I have this little extra piece of canvas. We may use it to tie up our tassel. Maybe not, though. And then I have this piece. Oh, gooey. I'm going to just cut off some of the extra pieces, the little seam ends. And again, just making snips. I'm going to snip off this finished edge. It just kind of gets in the way. Since that's my favorite color, let's add a few more strips of that. And then we'll add in some of this green. And you'll have fabric ribbon or strings for days. Again, I'm just going to cut off these seams. Just making snips where those seams are. You could even use that to tie your tassel on if you wanted to. So we'll leave that hanging out right there. Kendria says she used to make flip-flops with strips. Those would have been so cute. I love fabric strips. I kind of prefer it over ribbon. It's just a lot more forgiving. Okay, let's see what we have. Sorry, I have strings in my nose. Get some of this out of the way. So I think I'll probably end up cutting these in half. I love to buy the bandanas at Hobby Lobby. They come in every color imaginable, and they even have different designs that don't look like the traditional bandana. They have lemons, watermelon, buffalo check, kind of boho print ones. I guess this is longer. It's okay. So I'm just kind of stacking them up down here. You can't see what I'm doing. It's also a great time to get rid of all of those strings, or some of the strings. You noticed my first pronunciation and then I change it. Kendria. That's how I've always said it, but I thought Regina said it differently. I think she said Kendria or Kendria. I don't know. I'll have to go back and watch some videos to see how some of the other ladies pronounce your name. Okay. Is that too much? How big is too big? I don't know whether to cut those in half. I think that'll be okay. We can always, if it looks too long, we can always trim. And then I think let's use this canvas the first way. Gotcha. I think that's the way I've always said it, but I thought I heard Regina say it differently. We'll just I'm going to have to cut some of this off. So I'm just going to use this little canvas piece to tie it off. And before I do that though, I'm going to make a loop with this one. Or no, I'm going to run this one through because this will end up being the top side. So this is going to be my hang piece on the top side, and then the piece right here that I tie it with is going to be integrated into the bottom, into the underside. I probably shouldn't have. And then, so this will now be my hang piece. So we'll hide that knot in the underbelly. And then we'll kind of make the cap to our tassel. Like that. And then I'm going to use a big old piece of this. This is just the seam from our green bandana. And I'm just going to wrap it around. And you could put a cute little beach charm on here. That would be super cute, like some seashells or an anchor. I don't have any in my stash, but I know, surprise, surprise. And then let's just give the girl a haircut. Kendra says now she has to buy some bandanas. Yep, I have a ton in my stash. I love to use bandanas. So there is our fun little tassel. So then I can take my little hang piece and I can just tie it around. The handle of my bag. Super cute, just like that. So there we go. Kendria says, I love this. Jason says, that is awesome. I know, Ashley, now I don't know if I don't need any more bags. So yes, I will be selling this next weekend at the vendor event because I do not need any more stinking bags. But this would be cute just on a regular tote bag. Like I do have a bright yellow tote bag that would look really cute directly inked on it. Let's flip this. Let me get my mouse to work again. Let me show you from this view. So there is this side of the bag. And remember, we made a panel. Amanda says, don't show Thea. Thea could fit in this bag. So yeah, there's our cute little tassel. And so then tomorrow I'll heat set the other side, add the sticky stuff, and this will be a two-sided bag, but it'll only have one tassel. So fun. So let's do a few of our housekeeping things. Just want to remind you about the Club Couture transfer for this month. It is Live in the Sunshine, Swim the Sea, Drink the Wild Air by Ralph Waldo Emerson, which would also be cute as a little beach tote. This is an exclusive B-size transfer. It is only available for designers and Club Couture members. This package is a DIY monthly subscription kit that is mailed directly to your mailbox once a month. There is a 3-month minimum commitment to sign up, but you can cancel at any time after that. This month's colors packets that come with the transfer are Couture Teal, Guava, and Shimmer Harvest. Also, as a club member, you get $5.99 flat rate shipping on any additional Chalk site orders. So if you want any more information about that, I have a link in the description of the video. Just follow my Smart Bio link. If otherwise, you can type club in the comments and I will get you some more information. Also, June is Creative Kickstart Month. So we have 2 exclusive to June transfers, the Etched Bugs and the Explore Dream Discover transfer. There's also an exclusive Creative Kickstart palette pack. These are available for retail on my Chalk site, but you can also earn the transfers for free. If you spend $65, you can get the Explore Dream Discover transfer. If you spend $80, then you can get both transfers. Also, if you've ever thought, hey, I kind of want to do what she does, or if you're like me and your wish list was way bigger than your wallet, for this month only, limited supplies, limited time. Chalk Couture is offering the Creative Kickstart Designer Kit for $59. It is normally a $99 plus tax and shipping to sign up, but this month only it's $59. You do get $200 retail value at that $59. So if you want any more information about that, I would be happy to talk to you about it. No obligations. There's lots of ways to be a designer at Chalk Couture. You do not have to build a team. You do not have to run a business. If you just strictly want the products at a discount, I would be more than happy to answer any questions. So you can just type kit in the comments. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Let me check the. Thea says, then think of all the stuff she'd want a cake. Yeah, you could get a lot in this bag because it's. I didn't realize the sides were so big. So it is a huge bag. It would be a perfect swim bag. It's 10 inches wide, people, by probably 14, almost 15 inches tall. And then Amanda asks, have I ever done a beach towel? I've not done a beach towel. I think the pile of the terry cloth would be too high. I have done a kind of terry cloth kitchen towel. It didn't have as high of a pile as a beach towel. I just don't, because it would be kind of like trying to chalk on a stuffed animal. The pile is just too high. I think a flat surface would be better. But you could ink on some canvas and then like stitch it to the towel, probably. That might work. But that might be an experiment to try. But based on my experience with that kitchen towel, it doesn't get all the way down into the actual towel. It just sits on top of that pile. So I'm not for sure that it would work. Good question, though. I will be live again on Monday evening, 7:15 p.m. Central Time. I hope you all have a great weekend. I hope you all have fun hanging out with your family. To all the fathers and father figures out there, have a wonderful weekend. Happy Father's Day, and I will see you later. Thanks for watching.